Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's version of Harmonize to Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I work here at the international headquarters of Jin Shin Jyutsu in Scottsdale, Arizona. Jin Shin Jyutsu, for new people, is an art of harmonizing energy or life force, chi or ki in the body. And in Jin Shin Jyutsu, we do that by placing our hands on what we call safety energy locks, left and right side of the spine, 26 in all. And as we place our hands, we're listening for pulses like you would hear on the radial artery. This gives us an indication that blood and chi are flowing congruently. So, without further ado, today's session, we're going to focus on harmonizing fatigue. So we'll have a quick look at some slides and take it from there. So this is from a newsletter I compiled a few years back. The Experienced Jin Shin Jyutsu self-help fact sheets. And the quote I used from Mary's book, what Mary says, was simply knowing without experience is not enough. And I think that's true of everything. Our mind can process information, of course, intellectually, but if we haven't embodied it, it becomes just a librarian's feast. So often these days, because of the various stresses and strains placed on us by life changes, what's going on in the world, we often find ourselves perhaps more fatigued than we were before, or maybe we're dealing with accumulated fatigue. So there's 4 practices here today that I'm going to suggest we practice, and we can either practice each one for 9 exhalation inhalations each one, or which we prefer, and do that for each 4 exhalation inhalations, adding up to 4 sets of 9, adding up to 36. First one is holding the middle finger. Next one, placing your left hand on the pube and your right hand on your coccyx. You can probably see that very easily on the slide, but it looks like that. Or placing thumbs or fingers, or just fingers on the left and right occiput, which is the base of the skull at the back of the head. And then finally, left or right, place left hand on the right, wiggle high 19, grip the upper arm like this, and then place the opposite arm. So you're going across the body on what we call the high 1, which is the thigh there, the hamstring area. Or you can do the other side. All right. So let's stop the slide presentation and let us begin. So again, quick reminder, holding middle finger, left or right. And as always with the fingers, you can check each segment. This represents bust line, this represents waistline, this represents hip line. You can check each segment to see if one is tighter than the others, and sometimes it helps to just concentrate on the tight segment. Then you have the hand on the left hand on the pube, right hand on the coccyx. For those of you who are familiar with Jin Shin Jyutsu, it's the last step of the main central, or the second step of the left kidney flow. And then you've got your hands together like this underneath the occiput, these bones at the back of the head there. And then this again, high 19 with opposite high 1. So it's the upper arm. Here I'm using my left upper arm with my right upper leg here, hamstring area. Or switch over, you can do that one and the opposite. All right. So make a choice of doing just one of those for 36 breaths, or do each 1 for 9. I shall do each one for 9 so that any of you that's doing just one don't feel that you're not doing it correctly or whatever you're feeling. So let us begin. And we sit up straight, which I'm not, but I will. And we drop our shoulders and we exhale. With Jin Shin Jyutsu, the exhale is where we begin. The letting go, getting the stress off our shoulders and allowing light to pass through the back of the head where we were touching earlier. Safety energy lock number 4. Going through that groin area, the 15s, the hip line, the pube area, and going down to the big toe. And then as we inhale, the energy moves up from the big toe through that groin area, up the back, and then returning to the back of the head. So change lock number 4. So without further ado, let us begin. And I'm going to start on figure 1, which was holding the middle finger. And like I say, you can choose to stay with this all the way through or follow with me. Do whatever feels comfortable for you. There's no particular way of breathing in terms of through the mouth or through the nose or out through the mouth, out through the nose. Just do what is natural to you. What comes naturally is normally the simplest and most efficient way of breathing. Keep your feet firmly on the ground. Make a connection with Mother Earth. Because as we move energy through down the front of the body, this light is removing obstacles in the energy pathways, and it's being led to the earth where the minerals and the water will act as grounding mechanisms to take away what we don't need. And then the cosmic purified energy from energy all around us, 360 degrees, including the earth, will come up the back, purifying what we've created. So let us begin. Exhale, drop shoulders. Close your eyes to remove any distractions of the senses. Remember that exhale is going down from the head through the hip to the toe, into the earth, and then the natural inhale up from the toe to the hip to the head. So just allow the energy to release on that exhale. You may need to be a bit more conscious because most of us tend to inhale before we exhale. And naturally inhale. And then releasing blockers, the pulsation of the life force and the blood become more apparent. That's a good thing. We know we're alive. Inhale that cosmic purified energy, waking up all the cells in the body, allowing energy and matter to transfer between the outside of the cell wall to the inside, and from the inside of the cell to the outside. And then from there into the energy pathways, energizing us, reducing fatigue. The pulse of life. And you know, Mary Burmeister used to say, all our fatigue is psychic. It's our thinking. So become aware of what you're thinking or not. And as we naturally reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, just become an observer. Just be with where you are as the witness to where you be. In that sense of being, so notice where your energy is maybe accumulating or not in your body, where it's moving or not. Just be aware of it. Oftentimes we need to do these 36 breaths a lot more to help move the energy, because these stucks and these sticky areas in ourself have often been there for quite a while. So with that awareness, innocently witnessing, either choose to stay with the middle finger, and you could switch over to the right one if you want now, but just that particular practice, or go to the next one, like I am, which is left hand on pube, right hand on coccyx. There we go. And breathe out. Here, the primal 6th depth and 3rd depth physical energy meet. The blood essence and the prime 6th depth energy are meeting. 6th depth being the bridge to 3rd depth here. Both allowing more light, more essence to transfer through the body pathways to the safety energy locks, horizontally and vertically. And sooner or later you'll feel this pulse beneath the left and right hands, to the pube and the coccyx. And sometimes longer than 9, it may take longer than 18, 27, 36, and longer. But stay with it, release. You just don't know how long those blockages may have been nesting there. They need a gentle push. Gentle push and pull. And feel that gentle light opening up the spine, the energy pathways connected to the spine, through the vertebrae, moving blockages, harmonizing blockages, revitalizing, rejuvenating, regenerating. And feel your feet firmly connected to the ground so that any excess energy that's no longer helping you can just be away. So as you come to the ninth exhalation, rest in that position and be aware of where you are energetically, inwardly. And maybe you want to stay with this hold, or maybe you want to do the next, which is holding the hands at the base of the occiput bone. If one hand becomes tired, just drop it and put it on the high one or on the thigh. Otherwise, hold them together. Keep the back straight. Close eyes, drop shoulders. No. And these fours, the window that lets in more light, keep them as clear as you can. Sometimes you need a massage, dig around inside. Yeah. Feel that connection with the earth beneath, that support of Mother Earth, that circulation from head to toe, skin to bone, rejuvenation. And then again, as you reach the ninth exhalation, inhalation, just observe how you're feeling. Maybe the energy has begun to pulsate in these different energy locks, and you can be much more aware of how much energy you have going through your body in those places. Or not. No worries. Just allow, just release, let go. Be grateful for whatever occurs. It's all your unique journey. And then the last practice that I have here on the sheet is this high 1, high 19 with opposite high 1, the thigh area. So choose whichever side we're going to work with. Always just do a little inspection, see which one's tighter. Sit yourself up straight and exhale, drop shoulders, sink in through the hips to the feet. On the exhale. This affects the bust line, heart and lungs, and enthusiasm for life comes from this whole bus line, heart, lung area, the inspiration, the enthusiasm. Oftentimes when people are depressed, they're very tired. It's because depression puts a lid on the heart and the lungs. We just don't feel inspired or enthusiastic. Well, do one of these practices and see if that changes. Ooh, excuse me. Gently exhaling, naturally inhaling into a rhythm of spiraling light energy. You may even see the colors of the light. It doesn't matter either way. This is what you can see. And when you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, whichever practice you were doing, the same one you began with or any one of the others, well, yeah, any one that you started with and continued with, just give yourself a thank you hug, and that is the thumbs underneath the shoulder girdle, fingers against the side of the shoulder blade. And just relax into where you are now. And just observe what you're thinking. Has it changed since you began 36 breaths ago to where you are now? Hopefully. Sometimes things stick because they're not resolving. Then continue breathing out and inhaling till you feel some sense of peace or joy, which is normally felt in the heart. So you know some resolution has begun. This hug will remind you of where the peace is felt: heart, small intestine, lungs. And this is, in a way, your way of saying thank you to your energetic body, to your physical body, to your soul, and your heart, and your mind. Okay. Well, without further ado, or further ado, let's have a quick look at what's happening in Jin Shin Jyutsu world at large. By going to the website, and the class is currently happening. The organic conversations beginning today in the USA, Friday, September the 24th, Saturday, September the 5th in Australia, Singapore, and New Zealand. Here are all the different times. kind of early in the morning if you're here in Arizona. But anyway, your instructors, Sarah, Maria, and Jill, teaching you their wisdom, sharing their wisdom in study group format. Register today. 9-month creation has begun, and then you can replay it. Which brings us to all the different classes here. You click on this link, this link, this link, and you can get the replays. All the classes have 3 months replays. So about 24 or 48 hours after the class is finished, a replay will be sent. All right. So just to say, next week will be the last Friday Harmonize to Energize. We'll have a special guest to draw the Friday cycle to a close. And then we'll continue on the Wednesdays, which of course is next Wednesday, with the presentations, the mystery storyteller. And I will alternate between storytelling and self-help practices on Wednesdays in future. And some of the presenters may well offer self-help. We had Ava de Jong from the Netherlands this past Wednesday doing a beautiful presentation, utilizing the spleen flow and having us all practice the spleen. So a reminder, if any of you want to share some of your unique, inspiring stories, inspiring to you and maybe others, just drop me a line at info@jsjinc.com. There it is. And share your story. And all that happens then is all going well, all things being equal, exhale, balancing with inhale. We will set up a time for you to learn how to sit in front of the camera like I am with the software Webinar Jam a couple of days before, and then together or independently you will present your story. And people love to hear these stories, new and old, because we can learn from one another, yes? The community can grow, and we can see what other people are sharing, and maybe they'll mention, well, I used this for this particular project. But of course, I have to add, and maybe I should have said this at the beginning, Jin Shin Jyutsu is not a replacement for medical care. It is a complement to. So use this, and if you are under the care of a physician, an MD, whoever, if you have any concerns or doubts about what to do with Jin Shin Jyutsu, then let your physician know that you are doing this. And sometimes they phone us up. Sometimes they ask, what is this Jin Shin Jyutsu that my client is asking me about? And we get an opportunity to talk to medical professionals. So it all gives us this spiral of expanding awareness for people, introducing them to something they may never have heard before, but may help them in their journey to better health and better harmony in their life. So from me, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, it's tomorrow. Take care, look after yourself, be well, be happy, and you will see once again on the live now. Bye-bye. Take care.